Hello, beautiful souls. Hello, 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 hello. As per usual, I will wait for a couple of people to jump on here before I start getting into any good stuff. I want to do some magical stuff today, so we will see what we have time for. But I hope that everyone is having an awesome day, an awesome week, an awesome month. I hope everyone is doing beautifully. I have a lot of things that I want to discuss, both on a personal level, an astrological level, a magical level, a community level, all of the levels. So I decided to do the astrological stuff today, and then tomorrow, this weekend, at some point in time, I'll get into a little bit of the personal stuff. So hello Keisha, hello, hi to everyone that is joining. It has been a couple weeks, we'll say a couple, since I've been on here. And so there is some important astrological stuff that I want to discuss. I know that we've experienced a lot. I know when I went on my cruise, we were just experiencing a full moon. So it was an interesting time to go on the cruise for sure, because the moon being at its peak, at its fullness, and in the signs that it was in, Sagittarius to Capricorn, it was kind of a fiery moon phase. It was kind of a fiery moon phase that disconnected us a lot from our emotions and put us in a space of acting. Acting and doing and reacting and impulsivity. So I find it interesting that I didn't do a video about that. So I hope that you all, or maybe I did, I don't remember. I hope that you all recuperated well or experienced an agreeable moon phase for sure, especially because this phase that we're going into now is all about our emotions. It's shining light on pieces of ourselves and aspects of our hearts that some of us aren't ready to look at or weren't ready to look at, and are now being beckoned to take a look at, to take a gander at, to gawk at a little bit, maybe be embarrassed by, maybe honor a little bit, maybe be proud of, whatever it is for you. Right now, the next month, the next 20 however days, is going to be a time of really allowing ourselves to look at, feel, process, or not process, share and embody our emotions. So welcome to the age of Cancer. To all of my Cancerian people, hello, I see you, I feel you, I get annoyed by you a lot of the times, but that is okay. We are all here, doing the feeling thing, being in the waters, doing the crabby stuff. Hello, Gracie. Oh my God, Gracie, it feels like it's been ages since we spoke. I love you. Hello. Hello, Melissa. Hi. I hope that Colorado is treating you well. Jennifer, hello. Thank you. I'm happy to be back with all of these lessons and things that I have learned. Very interesting that I would be looking at what I'm looking at right now while being about to talk about Cancerian energy. My emotions are wanting to be triggered, but I'm not going to do that right now. Anyways, there's like a neighbor that has actually unknowingly pulled out some emotions in me in the last couple of months. They don't know it because they don't know that I exist, but I know that they exist because I hear them and I see them a lot, so it's very interesting. But anywho, so let's talk about the summer solstice. Let's talk about shifting into Cancerian energy. So every year when we go into Cancer, it is at the summer solstice. It's like, and the irony in that for me too, going into the summer solstice, the time of daylight and sunlight and heat. It's the hottest time of year, especially those of us in Vegas. We've got the fans on, we've got the AC going, we've got like buckets of ice sitting around the home ready to cool off. But while we're doing that, we also have the sun being in Cancer. So the sun is in Cancer at this time of year, every year. It's Cancer season. Hello to all the Cancerian people out there. Happy birthday. what's that song? It's my birthday and I can cry if I want to. That is the song of Cancerian people during Cancer season. You can cry, it is okay, there is nothing wrong with that. So let's talk about the stuff that's been heating up. I keep grabbing my dice, so I'm guessing I'm going to be rolling some dice. So let's talk about the summer solstice, because as I was saying with the full moon that we experienced like a week and a half ago, the full moon took us through Sagittarius, the fire sign, and then into Capricorn, the goat, the mountain climber. And so something that I've always said about Sagittarius energy is that if we embody Sagittarius energy in its strength, it is very intentional and focused fire. But if we are just embodying the fire of Sagittarius without there being much intention or purpose or awareness or consciousness or whatever, then we can take a very focused fire, one arrow that is on fire, and we can turn it into a wildfire, we can turn it into a blaze, we can turn it into something uncontrollable and disastrous. And so really allowing ourselves to take note of what we were acting on, what impulses we were picking up last week, what emotions we were being called to, or being called to either express and honor, or that we were feeling like we needed to cover up, because that's something that Sagittarius and Capricorn does a lot, is they can shield their emotions even from themselves because they don't want to have anything to do with that. So taking a look at that full moon phase and really addressing, hello to Jack, hello to everyone, I see you, I feel you, all of you. Meredith, hello, I am beaming, yay, I feel so peaceful, thank you. We came back and I noticed that I was like speaking really quietly the first couple days that we were back, and it was really interesting. They know you exist, I know you exist as well. Sam's a Cancer, tell Sam to get on here. Shake the dice and steal the rice. I don't know what that means, but I will definitely be shaking some dice. So actually, why don't I do that? So when it comes to the full moon in Sagittarius, can you show me, please, a very common energy that was coming up for people that might need to be sorted out with the new moon in Cancer? Interesting. So I have these very special dice. Actually, I've been wanting to show you these. So I have these dice that I ordered. They are made of aquafluorite. So of course, Eric would own dice made of crystals. But inscribed on them, if you looky here, we have the symbols of the planets on this one, and we have the symbols of all of the astrological signs on this one. So I use these for divination. They're a newer tool that I got, I don't know, a month ago maybe, and I have been loving them. So yes, so right now I rolled, and I got the, where'd it go? I got the symbol of Ceres, and Ceres is a lesser known astrological body and a lesser known deity. But she is a mother. She is the healing mother. She's the mother of crops, the mother of the harvest, the mother of mothers, if you will. She makes sure that we have what we need when we need it. And if we don't have it when we need it, then there's a lesson for us to learn in a very motherly way about how to obtain that. And so this is telling me that, and this makes so much sense with some stuff that I was experiencing. This is telling me that for a lot of us in the last couple of weeks, and specifically around that full moon phase, either we were dealing specifically with mother issues, or we were dealing with emotions that were triggered from a place of blockage with motherly energy, if that makes sense. And motherly energy is the energy of compassion, unconditional love, nurturing, that Cancerian energy of emotion. Ceres is the divine feminine. Ceres is a goddess. And mothers, any mother, any women, but specifically someone who has created, and I don't just mean creating a child, I mean created in any shape, manner, or form in their authenticity, is that same energy, is divine feminine. So this is telling me that some of the battle that we were experiencing, and I can attest to this, some of the battle that we were experiencing in the last couple of weeks with that full moon in Sagittarius was, fighting that divine feminine, wanting to act, so wanting to be in the Sagittarius fire, instead of wanting to feel, wanting to do instead of wanting to be, wanting to move instead of wanting to be still, and noticing a conflict with those energies. And this divine feminine energy as well, when we talk about emotion, that direct conflict is the Sagittarius Capricorn moon energy. Sagittarian people typically feel bad about their emotions. They don't want to show them because they want to be, that happy-go-lucky, whatever it is that we think that they are. But really sometimes they have emotions that not only do they not want to show it because of issues with how other people are going to receive it or what they're going to think about them and their strength, but they don't even want to judge themselves about their own emotions. They don't want to see their emotions and say, that's not reflective of this being of light and fire that I'm supposed to be, so let me not feel this, let me not deal with this, let me push this away a little bit. And so in this moon energy, if we're pushing away our emotions, the scale has to maintain balance somehow. So if we're pushing emotions away on one end, that means that we're picking up the slack of those emotions or the lack of those emotions with action instead. And so when we're coming from a place of action without the connection to emotionality, that means that our actions are not embodying much intention. Our actions are not embodying a lot of awareness, a lot of consideration, a lot of nurturing, loving energy. And those actions are coming from a very overly masculine space, which can be overly assertive. It can be imposing upon someone else's energy or space. It can be reactive. It can be defensive. It can be many different things. So this is a need for us to really sit in a space of allowing our experiences, allowing the situations that are happening around us, not to us, but for us, allowing those situations to be a mother to us, understanding that everything that is happening for us, understanding that everything that we're experiencing, all of the interactions and engagements that we're having right now, and in general, but really specifically right now, taking those as being an act of a mother. Sometimes we can get annoyed when our mom is trying to teach us something. Sometimes we can get annoyed when our mom is trying to recommend something or to show us how to do something or to offer some sort of wisdom or advice. And a lot of times we naturally, because we're rebellious and we don't want to listen to our parents, we push that away and we say, stop telling me what to do, or stop trying to impose your will or your beliefs on me, let me do it, blah, blah, blah. And so really right now is a time, even if it's a really, really disagreeable circumstance, even if it's someone who really irks the shit out of you, see them as a mother. I don't care if it's a man, I don't care if it's someone who's never had a kid, I don't care if it's someone younger than you. See them as a mother. See that circumstance as a mother. See that situation as a situation coming from your mother, and treat it differently, understand it differently, look at it differently, feel it differently, maybe even. Because when we can see things as being a mother and trying to teach us in some sort of divine feminine way, we can receive it more openly. We can receive it more into our heart space. And our heart space, thank you, Ceres. Our heart space right now is a space for us to be focusing on Cancerian energy. Cancers, their power centers, their main centers are their heart and their solar plexus, their heart and their stomach, or more specifically, their breasts and their stomach, which breasts are ruled by the, I don't know when the last time I said the word breast was, are ruled by the heart center. So, physically, energetically, all of that goes together. So because of the fact that the heart space and the stomach space are the power centers of Cancerian energy, those are the spaces that we need to be honoring and nurturing and paying attention to the most in the next couple of weeks. We have a new moon in the sign of Cancer next Tuesday, I'm gonna say. I believe it's Tuesday. Correct me if I'm wrong. But so Tuesday we have a new moon in the sign of Cancer, which means right now we need to nurture these centers. The heart center is very important for Cancerian energy because Cancerian people naturally are super, super empaths. They are... It's very interesting. I just said that sentence and I just received a message from someone that said something about stepping into psychic gifts. Cancerian people, their psychic gift is the gift of empathy. It's the gift of being able to feel what other people are feeling, being able to experience what other people are experiencing on a deeply vulnerable emotional level. Cancerian people are the ones they're normally the ones swimming in emotions. They're normally the ones who, they feel things and they feel things so deeply. And a lot of people, like Sagittarian people or Capricorn people, for example, might look at them and be like, why is that? Why does that affect you so much? Why are you hurt so much by that? Why are you so sad over that? Why are you so angry about that? Why are you so insecure about that? And it is literally because Cancerian people are always swimming in emotion. Cancer as a sign is a sign of water. Water is the element of emotion and divine feminine energy. Cancers are also ruled by the moon, which the moon controls the tides, which are water. Are you seeing all of these connections that are coming out? So right now, like for the month and for the week is hugely about emotion, divine feminine energy, receiving, feeling, processing, intuiting, empathing, whatever we want to call it. We are sitting in divine feminine energy right now. We are sitting in the energy of emotion. So whatever emotions are coming up for you, whatever emotions you're not wanting to feel, whatever emotions you feel like someone else might be projecting onto you or acting out on you, understand that that is the Divine Mother. Whatever the Divine Mother is to you, whether it's your mom, whether it's the flying spaghetti monster, whether it's Mother Teresa, I don't care. Understand that every situation we're experiencing right now is begging of us to see it as a mother in some shape, manner, or form. Let me go through these comments because I've been on a roll. Hello to everyone that is joining, by the way. I hope that you're all doing beautifully. Hello, Amy. I hope that you're having a lovely, lovely day. You've got some music getting ready to come out of you. Why do you say that? It's interesting that you say that, actually. I have been singing my ass off all day, and I'm supposed to be going tonight to a gathering to share my voice. Sagittarius laughter, of course Jennifer would understand that. I have all of the feelings. Right now is a time of feeling. It's a time of, like, you might be drowning, and it's okay to drown because guess what? Crabs, who are cancers, they can breathe underwater, or they can hold their breath for a really long time. I don't really know which one it is, so don't take my word for it, but one of the two. Either they're breathing underwater, or they can just not breathe underwater for a really long time and be totally fine. So either way, we're good, we're taken care of. Allow the tide to pull your head under the water and throw you around a little bit. Now is not a time for acting against the wave. Now is not a time of trying to swim against the current. Technically, it's never a time to swim against the current, but right now specifically, it's a time to just let the water take you and pull you. It's going to be scary, it's going to be weird, it's going to be super feely, you're going to be all about this space and really insecure about it, but it's fine. We're all in it, we're all feeling things. I've been feeling things, you've been feeling things, we've been feeling things. We feel them together. Another thing that's important about those, and I keep using the word insecure a lot because, you know, the power center of the solar plexus for Cancerian people, that's the stomach. So that means we might be experiencing stomach issues physically or energetically. We might have issues with personal power, self-worth, personal insecurity, ability to manifest, belief in ourselves and our abilities, things of that nature. Cancerian people can be one of the most insecure signs, right up there with us Virgos. Cancerian people, we share one of the same power centers. Cancerian people can worry a lot about the way that they present to others, the way that they look to others, because of the fact that they feel emotions much more intensely and deeply than other people. It makes them feel like something's wrong with them. It makes them feel like they're standing out too much. It makes them feel like they're a bit alien to the other sides. And emotionally, they kind of are. Emotionally, most people don't understand what a Cancerian person goes through on a daily basis when it comes to emotions. And if you're a Cancerian person who feels like you don't feel things a lot, send me a message. Either there is something that is being covered up, there's something that's being blocked, or maybe you're not a second decan in Cancer, maybe you're not in the heart of Cancer season, and you have some aspects from one of the other signs that's coming through. I know a lot of Cancerian people also don't feel like they feel, or don't think, don't perceive that they're always swimming in their emotions, but to us, they look like they're just kind of like flailing around in the water helplessly. I feel like that could be a commercial for like some sort of Cancerian medication. Do you feel like you're drowning in your own shit? We all are. Hello, Kristen. Meredith, I can feel it. Yeah, my voice has been on fire. And actually, last night I went to kirtan to help like ground and settle back into my space and my voice upon returning from the ship, because I wasn't using my voice a lot on the ship. So I went to kirtan and sang my ass off and sang into a microphone for the very first time in my life, which was an interesting, scary, but awesome experience. So let's talk about does anyone have questions, by the way? Is this all making sense? Are you connecting with this? Do you get it? Okay. I'm pretending that you're answering me in real time. So let's talk about this new moon in Cancer. So with the moon being new in Cancer, this means that, and with us having the sun in Cancer, we're having some very interesting elements come up. So naturally a new moon is a time of newness, a time of freshness, a time of setting new intentions, going about things in a new way, experiencing things in a way that we haven't experienced them before. When we have a new moon in Cancer and we have the sun in Cancer, that means that some light is going to be shown on areas of our emotionality that are new to us. And that doesn't mean that the emotions are new. That doesn't even mean that the way of us expressing or embodying or emitting those emotions is new. But our understanding of them is going to be new. And maybe even our experience of them is going to be new. It's like, I might be very well aware of the fact that I am, I don't know, what am I? Sometimes I can be jaded when it comes to relationship life, but maybe I think that that's just because I'm very serious, or I'm consciously aware, or I don't have time for no bullshit, whatever it is, the story that I'm telling to myself. But something is probably going to come up for me this month that reveals to me the real reason for being a bit jaded when it comes to romantic relationships. Maybe I'll start to understand that I've been walking around with a broken heart and I didn't realize it, or maybe I'll start to understand why exactly I feel the way that I do about romance, or maybe I'll start to understand why it is that I get bitter when I feel a certain way, or when I think about a particular person, things of that nature. Stories are going to start kind of unfolding for us this month, so that instead of us just saying, oh, I'm the jaded person, we're going to start saying, oh, I'm actually afraid of being in a committed relationship because I was cheated on in my last relationship and I didn't know it. So new things are going to come to light that are really going to help us understand why we've been carrying the emotions around that we've been carrying, or how we've been expressing those, how we've been acting those out, either with or on other people. And for a lot of people, this process can be really daunting, because it makes us take a new look at ourselves. You know, it's so easy for us to, like me, for example, years ago I used to walk around and I would say that I was the person who was numb to feeling hurt, because so many people had hurt me and I was just numb to it and I already knew it, blah, blah, blah. But really what was going on was I just wasn't allowing myself to feel it. I was blocking it out. I wasn't allowing myself to be hurt by other people by telling myself stories about why they were doing the things that they were doing. And so this month, this Cancerian energy and this new moon energy is going to kind of gently peel away those stories that we've been telling ourselves to cope or deal or justify or whatever. And it's just going to reveal the raw emotion. That sounds less gentle than I was meaning for it to. But it is. It's going to reveal that raw emotion by itself so that we can understand that, so that we can feel that without stuff needing to be attached to it. That's something that's really awesome about Cancerian energy, when we can invite it in, when we can sit in it willingly and willfully, it allows us to really comprehend. And not comprehend up here, but comprehend in here, our emotions, to know where they come from, to know why they exist, to know how to transmute them, to know how to embody them instead of projecting them, to know how to honor them instead of acting them out. This is going to be a really awesome time for us to learn how to completely honor our emotions without needing to either retreat from them like the crab, or push them onto other people like that Sagittarian fire. I hope that makes sense. And speaking of fire, I rolled another of the die because I was getting a feeling that there was like a specific fire energy, which was the exact one that we were going to need to confront or deal with or cope with or whatever this moon phase. And I rolled and I got the sign of Aries. I lost it now, but I got the sign of Aries. This is an energy that I've been talking about a lot over the last few months. Because it's something that's been coming up a lot for me and a ton in the people that I've been working with, a ton in my friends and family. Aries energy is an energy of Mars. It's an energy of what can be destructive masculine energy, destructive fire energy. This tells me that a lot of the emotions, and I'm understanding now something that I was experiencing a lot of the last couple of weeks. It's a time for us to really address our anger issues. It's a time for us to really address the latent rage that's inside of us. It's a time for us to address our angst. It's a time for us to address all of the madness, all of the explosive charges that have been lying dormant inside of us. If you've been having issues with or experiencing anger coming up more often than it normally does, raise your hand. What's a really awesome aspect about that is Aries is cardinal fire energy and Cancer is cardinal water energy. So these were cardinal, meaning that was the first of its elemental sign to come into the zodiac wheel. So Aries, and Aries was the first sign of the zodiac anyways, but Aries was the first fire sign to come through. He is cardinal fire. He is the one who paves the way for everyone else. He's the one who comes through and says, this is the way things need to be done. And, you know, with Cancer being the cardinal water, they were the first one who came through and felt. They were the first one who came through and experienced emotion. They were the first one who came through and dipped their toes in the water. They were the first one who came through and felt the pushes and pulls of the moon phases. Cancerian people were the first ones to feel. And feel with their heart. So it's really important for us to understand that with cardinal energy, it comes through very strong. It comes through, it can be abrasive, it can take over everything that is happening in our reality, in our experience, and it can be everything that we are basing our current reality on. So dealing with cardinal fire and cardinal water at the same time, fire and water typically don't mix. So this is a time of us really finding whatever the balance is that we need to find between divine masculine and divine feminine energy. You see how that works? A time for us connecting with the divine mother and the divine father and understanding how to walk with and embody both of those energies at the same time in a healthy, focused, and serene way. Anger as an emotion is a tricky one because most often anger is a cover-up for something that's more vulnerable. Anger is a cover-up for something that's a lot more squishy and has a lot more nerve endings. And so when we naturally feel anger, most of us want to shove it away. Most of us want to turn away from it because we are afraid of the explosivity of it. Then there are a lot of us who, when we feel anger, we feel even more rightful in embodying and expressing and asserting that anger because of how powerful of an emotion it is, how cardinal that emotion is when it comes into our experience. This Cancerian energy and this new moon energy is going to I was going to say beg of us, but I will say it's going to offer us the opportunity to be in the throes of our cardinal fire while completely embodying cardinal water, while completely allowing ourselves to transmute it. We can have a raging fire and put it out with water. We can have some of the most intense heat that we've ever experienced and assuage it with an ice cube. If we allow ourselves to, we can really completely feel the anger, the rage, whatever the fire is for you, while nurturing it like a mother, while understanding it, while allowing it to still dance and burn, but without it needing to be in an uncontrollable way. Does that make sense? So going into this new moon in Cancer, especially with it being the summer solstice, especially with the sun just having gone into Cancer, I'm going to advise that everyone feel their emotions like a mother. And that can mean that the emotions stress you out. That can mean that you feel like you don't have enough time for them. That can mean that you want to nurture them and cradle them and be compassionate with them. Queen of Discs, Indolence, Knight of Swords, Princess of Swords. This is all about the internal battles that we're facing. This is all about, what's interesting is the Fool card came out as well. This is going to be a time for us to really address the battles that we haven't been paying attention to. And so I'll say for me, a battle that I have been facing has been this food battle that I've been dealing with for technically forever, but more recently for the last 6 months or so. Really allowing myself to be in a space where I'm not obsessing over food and the things I'm putting into my body, but I'm also understanding that it gets to a space where it's uncontrolled. It gets to a space where I might eat my emotions instead of feeling them or expressing them or allowing them to flow through me. And so something that's come into my experience recently is needing to address that inner battle of what is the eating disorder covering up. And for me, mostly it's been anger. It has been situations of frustration or feeling like I'm being taken advantage of or not wanting to breathe my fire onto someone else. And so instead, I might tend to shove that fire down and eat it down and gobble it down. That way I don't have to feel it. And even though I don't feel it emotionally, then because I've decided to eat the anger, I then have to feel it physically. I then have to deal with the bloating or the upset stomach or the waking up with a headache, whatever it is that I'm dealing with. So this is definitely, these swords cards coming out is definitely telling me that the emotions that this Cancer moon is going to bring up is going to have a lot to do with internal battles. And when I say internal battles, I'm referring to situations of self-defeat, situations of self-deprecation, situations of not embodying self-love, situations of internal struggle and conflict, like this internal struggle and conflict that I'm watching happen outside my window right now. I need to mind my own business. Anyways. And then we also have the Eight of Cups, the card of indolence, the card of Pisces, the card of patterns and trends and habits, a card of not doing something that we know needs to be done, not doing something because of how it feels, not doing something because maybe we feel too much and we think that we don't have the energy to get up and do it, whatever that is. This card is directly related to Cancer. Pisces is one of the other water energies, water signs, and Pisces deals a lot with dualistic emotion. This Cancer moon is going to have us really address the ways that we've not been addressing emotions. So this takes us into something that's kind of twofold or threefold. It's not just about dealing with the internal struggle. It's not just about dealing with the Princess of Swords. It's not just about dealing with the Knight of Swords. It's not just about dealing with the anger. It's about dealing with the ways that we've been covering it up. Dealing with the ways that we have not been acting on it. Dealing with the ways that we've not been too honest about it. Dealing with the ways that we have been in a space of indolence. We've been in a space of laziness. We've been in a space of non-action when it comes to these emotions that we have been struggling with and fighting with inside. And with the Queen of Discs coming out, that tells me that for a lot of the people watching this video, a lot of the people that I am speaking with, whether it's the live video or the rerun, blah, blah, did you say rerun? Repeat? Replay? Whatever they call it. A lot of the ways that we've been not dealing with those emotions has been by throwing ourselves into work, throwing ourselves into serving others, throwing ourselves into tasks and projects and getting things done. It's a very specific person that I want to send this video to, other than myself, for damn sure. So this is telling me that all of us here in this space need to stop doing as a way of covering up our emotions. All of us here in this space need to sit back and be still. So earlier I was talking about the difference between the feminine energy of being still and the masculine energy of doing. With the sun being in Cancer, right now is a time to, and not in every circumstance to be still, but to be still with our emotions, to be still in allowing ourselves to feel what's going on instead of trying to work them away, instead of trying to make them better, instead of trying to just get through them. We need to just be with them. We need to just allow them. And that takes us to the Fool. That takes us to the Fool. I should be holding cards on this side because you can see it better. The Fool is the card of possibility, potentiality. The Fool is the zero. The Fool is the space of where we have the ability, the potential of being or doing anything. This is telling me that the emotions that are going to be coming up with these cards, with this new moon, are keeping us from reaching our full potential. And that might seem like a very cliche, spiritual, whatever thing to say, but me, for example, with the anger issues and the eating, I know that the anger that I still have, although it's much less than it used to be, the anger that I still have that lies dormant inside of me is taking up the space of something that would much better serve me if it lived there. The anger is taking up the space of joy. The anger is taking up the space of unconditional love. The anger is taking up the space of receptivity. Whatever it is, that anger, the vibration that I'm allowing that energy to exist at currently, is filling a space that a vibration of a much higher frequency could be existing in. I hope that makes sense. So it's not just about clearing this out. It's not just about... Oh, this is affecting me. So something that I've been angry about for the last couple of months is the mistreatment of the children that live in the apartment across from me. And not even across from me, but over there, over yonder. And I can always hear and see what's happening to them. And it brings up dormant emotions inside of me from it's almost a direct mirror of what I used to experience as a kid. My dad verbally abusing me, and whether or not there's physical abuse going on over there, I'm not going to speculate, but just hearing the way that these children are spoken to has been bringing up this anger inside of me that I've had when it comes to my own upbringing and stuff that I have not really dealt with, even though there have been many instances of me trying to. So I'm watching some stuff happen right now, and it's like bringing that up inside of me, of course, as I would be talking about this. So that is like a direct message to me that this stuff is very much real. These internal struggles, this Aries fire energy that is wanting to work itself out through its polar opposite energy, you know, this direct cardinal Cancerian water energy. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to say whatever it is when it comes to fire that you're not allowing yourself to release, this month is the time to do so. This month is a very powerful time to do so. This month is about embodying divine feminine energy. This month is about embodying our emotions. This month is about honoring our emotions. This month is about emotions. Do you get it yet? Are you feeling yet? If not, why? If you're not feeling as deeply as you could be feeling, are you distracting yourself from feeling? If you're not feeling on a scary deep level, what are you hiding from yourself? What are you pushing away? What are you not allowing? This month is not going to give us space energetically, astrologically, theoretically, to not feel. So instead of spending the next 20 whatever days pushing the emotions away, instead of spending the next 20 whatever days trying to not feel or being embarrassed about it or feeling shameful or guilty about it, why don't we just take this month to feel? Why don't we just take this month and then the police pulled up, so I don't know, maybe I manifested something. This is interesting. So anyways, not to include you in my own little personal non-drama, but this is what's going on in my life right now. As I'm speaking about the issues are happening in front of us. This is what happens when we allow ourselves to feel and when we're honest with ourselves about our emotions. So I will end this with, I'm so distracted right now. This is getting juicy. So I will end this with reminding you all that you have permission to feel, with reminding you all that there is no guilt, or there does not have to be guilt or shame or frustration or embarrassment or blah 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 when it comes to your emotions. This month is going to be a month of feeling things deeply, feeling things intensely, and feeling things with detail. So allow that process to happen, because honestly, whether you allow it or not, it's going to be happening. But if you're fighting that process, all of the beautiful healing work that could be done, all of the beautiful opportunities that could open up for you in the happening of that work won't happen. So just allow yourselves to feel with the innocence of a child. Allow yourselves to feel with the divine feminine power of a mother. Allow yourselves to feel deeply and gratefully, because this Cancerian energy, this new moon, this solstice, this sun in Cancer, and what we have coming up later in the month, which I'm going to talk about in another video, is going to give us so much opportunity to release the old, stagnated, gross emotions that aren't doing anything for us, so that we have space to invite in some bright, golden rays of sunlight. That is my message for the day. I apologize for being so distracted with what's going on outside, but I find it very interesting that I had no intentions of doing a video today. I come on to do this video, very specific things that I'm talking about are happening in front of me. So that is that. I'm going to go reflect on that. I hope that you all have a beautiful day. I hope that if I don't see you before next week's new moon, that it serves you well, or that you allow it to serve you well, because it's going to be serving you well regardless. Girl, give us a glimpse of the novella happening outside. Can I have permission to watch the drama outside? It involves some dude not wearing a shirt and drinking a beer, so you might actually enjoy that spectacle, but there are now 2 police outside dealing with it, and the child has no idea what to do with herself, poor girl. But anyways, I love you all. I will see you soon. Las Vegas. If you're still watching this video, Las Vegas on Sunday, I have my next Crystal Clarity class. And this class will be covering the throat chakra. Oh, Jack, you should make a trip out here. And it's going to be a really special class, actually, because we're covering the throat chakra and self-expression and the power of sound. Colleen, my partner in healing, is going to be joining me for this class. We're going to be doing a super special guided meditation with us channeling medicine music, using the power of the voice for healing. And so we will be diving deep into the power of expression and vocalization of emotions. So that is on Sunday evening at 5 o'clock here in Las Vegas in Henderson at Elevated Infrared Sauna. So if you want information on that or to purchase your ticket, please let me know, and I will get a link sent over to you for that. I'm on my way. You would. So I love you all. Have a beautiful day. Embody your emotions and treat every experience as if it is a mother. Goodbye.